All right, well, we will go ahead and get started. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here this morning to participate in this workshop on innovative uses for Padlet. So I want to just start out by introducing myself. My name is Sarah Brand, and I'm in my final semester of the Master's in Instructional Technology program at Georgia Southern. This workshop is a part of my program requirements, so I really appreciate y'all helping me fulfill those requirements. And I hope that you find a few things this morning that you find useful to the instruction in your classroom. So I created the objectives this morning by looking at the technology use Google form that you all filled out for me. I asked questions about what technology was being used in each of your classrooms and how it was being used. And one thing I noticed is that, of course, we're all using technology in our classroom. One thing we're not doing super often is allowing kids to collaborate with one another using technology and allowing students to use technology to create digital products. I also noticed that we all have familiarity with Padlet. If you're like me, you probably used Padlet in PDs before, and that's about it. So we're not using it a lot in our classroom. But Padlet actually has a lot of really cool formats and features that can be used in the classroom for students to collaborate and create. So that is what I want to show you today. So our objectives for the day are to incorporate Padlet into your instructional practices, regardless of content area. And we're all in different content areas and grade levels. To utilize Padlet in such a way that allows students to create digital products, either individually or collaboratively. And to utilize Padlet in such a way that allows students opportunities to create digital products. Oh, I'm sorry, to collaborate with one another. I have the closed captioning for this meeting on top of my screen. All right, so the first Padlet format I wanted to show you that I was really excited about is the map. This is so cool because it has a bunch of different ways it can be used. So what I've chosen here is called a watercolor map. And this map can be changed in the settings. So there's a bunch of different map styles here. You can use the normal street map. There's a satellite map. So there's a bunch of different options there. And the way it works is you would just click the circle down here to add a point on the map. And then you can search for any place you want to add a point. And it can be as specific as the name of a business, or it can be as broad as a country. I'm going to just put, since this is a 13 colonies map, I'm going to just put North Carolina. And then in all Padlets on a post like this, students can add really just an infinite number of things. They can upload a file, they can take a photo, add links, they can search for an image to add. And then if you click these dots, there's a ton more that they can do. They can record their screen, record a video, add a song, YouTube video, any sort of note. For this one, I'm just going to add some text since this is a 13 colonies activity. I'm just going to add Southern Colony, and it publishes to the map. So, and what you have here is a whole world map. So you can zoom all the way out zoom all the way in, show whatever part of the world you need to show for your activity. So this has a lot of uses and in a lot of different content areas, and it would allow students to work collaboratively and create a digital product. All right, so the next Padlet format I want to show you is the timeline. So I usually think about timelines as being a social studies thing that we use to show historical events like I did in the example. But it really has so many different uses. You can use this feature to track scientific processes or eras, to map out the course of events or changes in a theme in a novel. So for this format, open this up. It's really easy to add a point. You can use the circle at the bottom to add a point anywhere on the map and then drag it. And you can also take these points and rearrange them and add a point in a specific place between two events by just clicking the plus sign in between. So again, this would be a fantastic way to have students collaborate and create a digital product. All right, so this next one is called the Canvas format, and the uses for it are really endless because the post in this type of Padlet can be placed anywhere on the page. So in this example, I made a graphic organizer, or a thinking map, as we call it in elementary school. So what's cool about this is that you can connect the post in any way. Like I said, you can move things all over the page, put them wherever you want, and connect and disconnect from a post that just moves these arrows. So you can really connect them super easily. This is really easy to navigate for students. They would just click the dots, connect to a post. They pick the one they want to draw an arrow to, and it appears. You can also upload a custom background to this. So if you already have a digital worksheet, chart, something like that, that you want students to be able to write on in certain places, a certain graphic organizer format you want them to follow, you can just put that chart there, and then they can move their post into the background. So again, this is a really great way for students to create a digital product. So I'm going to give y'all just a few minutes to explore this. I am going to put a link in the chat and share a website with you that has my presentation on it. So what I want you to do is to be able to explore just these 3 different types of Padlets. So I'm going to share this website with you. It's going to take you to this page where you'll find my presentation. And you come down here to the bottom and scroll over to slides 4, 5, and 6, and just click on whichever Padlet you want to explore. You'll just click on the screen that has the image of the Padlet. And give y'all just a couple minutes. I'm putting that link in the chat now. So if y'all would just take a couple minutes to click around, explore those, and then come back here and I will show you a few more tricks. I was just looking at all of these comments in the chat. I love that y'all are as excited about this as I was. I saw Melissa was talking about the map feature. It was new to me as well when I started exploring it. I was really excited about that. Yeah, Adrian said using the timeline in different content areas. Stacy, the science life cycles for the Canvas format, yes. The map feature for meteorology, for reading weather maps. Padlet did get a facelift. All right. So I think y'all, I was going to ask y'all, you're already doing a great job of engaging in the chat over here. So I'm really glad that y'all are finding some different uses for this. The shelf format for a Venn diagram. Yes, awesome. All right, so I do have just a few more tricks I want to show y'all, and then I'm going to give you a chance to interact with one of the Padlets on your own. Let me reshare my screen again. Okay. All right, so these next three Padlet formats are probably closer to how you've used Padlet before, but I wanted to show you how even those can be used in creative ways. So I made this one using the shelf format, and I think this would be great for students to use to take notes on during an assigned reading or lesson. So in this case, I would probably create the headings for the columns and then just assign a certain number of contributions that each student needs to make. And I love this because you can put them in charge of creating a study guide for themselves. So all Padlets can be shared after they're created. You can share them using a link, a QR code. You can embed it in your e-class page. So there's all different kinds of ways that they can access it later. So this would be a great way for them to take responsibility and ownership of taking their notes on a lesson or reading. Sorry about that. All right, so this one is group resource gathering. So I use the wall format for this. And that creates a document that really just looks like a Pinterest board. So it's very visual, and that's why I love it. It would be great for collaborative resource gathering, doing group research project, because it allows students to save everything in one place without worrying about the file sharing and all of that. This way you can access what they're sharing. You can see what sort of resources they're gathering, making sure they're having a good variety, that they're not just using Wikipedia as all of their sources and things like that. And of course, if someone's absent, all of their work is in the same place, so the group can still access it. So another idea I came across, because Padlet's so easy to use, you can also use it to gather global responses for a project. So if you had a question you wanted to ask the world on social media, the issues are, number one, you would have to show students your social media in order to show them those responses. Also, you only have so much control over what people are posting and how they're responding. So in this case, you could share the Padlet when you share that question on social media. And I'm going to open this up. In the settings, you can set it so that all content requires approval. So you have to approve what people say, so you're only showing students what you want them to see. And you can filter out anything inappropriate. So it could be a really valuable tool for getting responses from around the world without having to show students your personal social media. All right, so I am going to give y'all a few minutes to play around with one of the Padlets, just so you feel really ready to use it in your classroom. So I put together 2 activities. They're both using a Shel Silverstein poem just to keep it interesting. So one of these activities has a literary focus, and I'm going to unshare my screen for a moment. So one of these activities has a literary focus and one has a science focus. So I know we're all different content areas. So depending on what content area you're most comfortable with, you go with the one that's right for you. So what I'm putting in the chat is a link to a literature activity using the timeline format, just to kind of get our wheels turning about different ways to use that. And then a science activity using the Canvas format, where I put a custom background on it, so you can create posts and drag things into columns. So I'm putting those links in the chat now. When you click on whichever one you want, you'll find the directions at the top of the Padlet. So go ahead and just click on one of those, complete the activity, and then come back here when you're done and we will wrap up. All right, looks like everyone's getting some ideas. Yeah, that poem is really great for a cross-curricular activity. Okay. All right. So great. So thank you so much again for being here. I hope y'all learned some new tricks that you find useful, that you can carry over into your instruction. If y'all could, I just saw Kelly's comment. Yes, I love that. Yeah, let them take ownership of those study guides. So I am, if y'all could do me a really quick favor, I am posting a super quick Google form in the chat now, another one of those program requirements. So if you wouldn't mind just clicking over there and just letting me know what you thought about the workshop, I would really appreciate it. And I am also posting again the link to the website where you found the presentation earlier, so that you can bookmark that. It has all the example Padlets. It has contact information for me, just in case you have any questions later. And it has some other great Padlet related resources you can check out. I'm posting both of those links now in the chat. And thank you so much for being here again. So stick around if you have any questions. But if not, I appreciate y'all and I hope you have a great Friday.